Hello everyone. Welcome to this channel Jikook universe. In this video we will discuss something interesting and definitely a shame to miss. Come on, watch until the end. Today I want to talk about something many of you may have noticed while watching Jimin and Jungkook's last live broadcast. It wasn't their first time performing together, but somehow this one felt different. There was something so clear, without any complicated words or exaggerated gestures, that conveyed their closeness. They were simply there, being themselves, sharing the space comfortably, looking into each other's eyes and understanding each other in a very natural way. One of the most talked about moments was when they were watching the video for Who, Jimin's song. If you noticed, Jungkook's expression changed exactly when Jimin sang the line, "Who is my heart waiting for?" In an instant, his reaction spoke volumes. Not only because he was paying attention, but also because he responded spontaneously and sincerely with the line, "Who are you waiting for?" His tone, his earnest gaze, the way he delivered it all felt so honest. That kind of reaction only happens when someone is truly touched. For those of you who have followed Jungkook for a long time, you know that small things like this mean more than 1,000 public statements. Of course, there will always be those who call this acting or just fan service. But the way Jungkook reacted didn't seem fake. It was too real. Like the response of someone who forgot they were being watched. Throughout the broadcast, that wasn't the only moment. They were deeply connected, laughing, interrupting each other, sharing things that perhaps only they understood. The comfort was palpable, but more than that, there was also a very strong bond. There was a mutual trust that radiated from the way they looked at each other, listened to each other, and got to know each other beyond their roles as bandmates. Some physical gestures also appeared, albeit subtle. Leaning closer than usual, a light touch, or a gaze that lingered a little longer than normal. This wasn't about looking for proof. But for those who have followed their interactions for a long time, these things have a consistency that can't be ignored. While they never directly said the words, "I love you," the way they cared for each other and prioritized each other said more than enough. Jungkook often displayed a protective attitude toward Jimin, while Jimin knew how to calm Jungkook, make Jungkook laugh, and reciprocate that warmth in his own way. What was most touching about this broadcast was their naturalness together. There was no acting, no script. They were simply sharing, and from that naturalness, everything became clear. Of course, as usual, criticism came. Some said we were imagining things or reading too deeply into them. But the truth is, we weren't seeing things that weren't there. We were simply paying attention to what they were already showing us. Jungkook didn't try to hide his feelings. His comments to Jimin, though brief, felt deeply personal. From the beginning, he appeared relaxed and didn't hesitate to tease Jimin. There was no attempt to disguise or hold back his expressions. Everything seemed genuine, from his gestures to his gaze to his tone. One of the most memorable parts was when Jungkook announced that they had decided on their song. And yes, as many had suspected, it was a collaboration between the two of them. Jikook's song. Not just another musical project, but something long awaited. This time it felt more personal. A work that was truly theirs as a duo, or even as a couple. When Jungkook asked if they could give a spoiler, a small but meaningful moment occurred. He placed his hand on Jimin's shoulder and squeezed it gently. Jimin responded jokingly, "What are you doing? Do you want to be disciplined?" And Jungkook replied with a smile, "It's hot in here." It was brief, but it spoke volumes. It wasn't the content of the sentence, but the way they said it. A communication that needed no explanation. Interactions like this were already a part of them. For those who had followed them for a long time, the way they spoke and responded to each other was nothing new. Moments like these were more than entertainment. They were affirmations that whatever was between them remained. Unfaded by time, rumors, or outside pressures. What they had felt so authentic. They didn't need to explain it. Their presence was enough. This broadcast isn't just content. It's a small slice of a larger, deeper relationship. They're not pretending or trying to create an impression. They're just two people who understand each other, respect each other, and enjoy each other's company. The song they're preparing isn't just a release. It's a reflection of everything they've shared. We may not know the lyrics yet or what the concept will be, but we know one thing. It will resonate. Not because of the words, but because of the energy they share while performing it. Sometimes the best moments aren't the most viral but the most honest. This broadcast is a perfect example. A reminder that beneath everything, fame, schedules, industry pressures, Jimin and Jungkook are still there for each other. And they continue to show little pieces of that bond. No labels, no explanations needed. It speaks for itself. What makes them so special isn't just what they say but how they say it. Every movement, look, and reaction feels in sync. It's as if they share a body language that only the two of them understand. Even in the simplest moments, walking together, laughing, unconsciously touching each other, it all forms a kind of invisible dance. Jimin can turn his head slightly and Jungkook is already there. Jungkook can take a step first and Jimin will follow. There's no clear signal but their responses are reflexive. This is more than teamwork. It's an emotional connection. A natural synchronization that can't be taught. They create music even without a melody. Their movements are the rhythm. Every gesture feels fluid, as if their bodies follow the same pattern, complementing each other without interfering. Even in the smallest movements, there's a deep understanding. A connection like this is rare. Their chemistry is unique when they're together, and Jikookers have known that for a long time. Even when the cameras aren't rolling or there's no need to perform, they still seek each other out, follow each other, and complement each other. No matter what other narratives they try to construct, what they show remains consistent. The unseen touches, the unprovoked laughter, and the reassuring presence. It all points to one thing. There's something real between them. A bond that can't be explained, but it's always felt. This bond hasn't faded even after years have passed. It's unshaken by rumors or external pressure. They don't try to show it, but they don't hide it either. Their rawness can't be faked. And in every video there's always that something that unites them. It's as if they're the only two of them, as if the world disappears when they're together. Jimin's gaze is full of tenderness, while Jungkook responds with action. Drawing closer, following, allowing himself to be led. And perhaps that's where it all lies. In the willingness to trust, to follow, and to grow together. An invisible dance that never ends. Thank you for accompanying the sweet story of Jimin and Jungkook today. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss their next special moment. See you in the next video, Jikookers.